Welcome back. We're coming in hot today to Satisfactory. I am so glad you're here. Hey, I've been having some serious crashing issues, so I just want to do a light operation today. I want to get these. We've got our brand new copper wire factory, also known as wire, and it's dumping out into these two. And we got to get this over to the mega factory over here. So I'm thinking like a little sky bridge where we sky bridge up, go over this space, and then get connected to the mega factory. I was going to connect to the sushi belt, but those sushi belts are already... they're already maxed out pretty nicely, so yeah, you can see them right here. We don't need to add more stuff to this. And then we're gonna get those items into here, though I should probably bring at least one of them directly into here so they can go up making cable directly. Kind of this spot, and then the rest of it can go in the general spot. So that's what we're doing today. Very, very simple. If we get through the hour without crashing, then hey, that'll be nice. The key here is going to be figuring out how to get this sky bridge to work. I think well, I could try to connect it here. Let's at least look at the option. If we brought this wire, we'd have to move our hub sign to here. Right now, that's the milestone. Yeah, I don't think I like this idea. It would be kind of clean, though. And we could put in multiple lifts here to cover it. And then it would be more of a... Alright, yeah, I think I might do that. It has certain advantages. Mostly that we already have a piece of that infrastructure already built. So now I want to boost this into here. I wonder if I can skybridge low this. Oh man, there's one click right there that works. Unfortunately, there's not going to be an easy way to conveyor wall this. Once I get in here, I can just go like so. All right, if we can get that far, then we're good to go. Of course, this belt is really pushing me out of here. Well, hold on. There is a door here. Does it work? Yeah. We'll just use the door. This is going to be a low bridge no matter what. And then we can put this guy right next to it. And then use this. Is the lowest of low bridges. But it works. And then I think a little booster area is all we need, really. Uh-oh. I replaced my bar with something weird. Hold on. There we go. Alright. And, oh, just a simple lift solution like this is what I'm thinking. But maybe I should get this stuff going first. Are these in the right location? Originally, I was planning to shoot this out this way, so I kind of got it as far out as we could. But maybe it makes more sense to move these back now. What the heck is that? Okay, so now that runs up here, and then it's just a matter of getting this connected. I don't think we need this third one over here. Or this one. Or this one. Guess we could do a quick internal lift situation. The only problem is it's not gonna line up perfectly, but we can make the adjustment inside of here where no one can see what's going on. if we can make that adjustment. There is no guarantee. Well, I was hopeful that would make it just enough tweakable, but looks like we're gonna have to do something a tad more manual. There we go. We got there. Something tells me 2 clicks is the right number. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this game. I go through months where it runs perfectly at the highest settings. Everything is amazing. And then I go through weeks where it's like it will barely boot up before it's ready to crash. Right now I'm in that barely boot up phase. Though it seems to be working now. Talk more about what we changed. All right, so now we've got this little internal tunnel done. We probably should just lock this off, right? But we'll worry about the beauty pass later. So we've got this I like this area because it is very visual. Uh-oh. Well, we might have to expand it. Well, let's get this drop down. I definitely wanted a space where you would kind of see the highlighted drop of the milestone. Of course, we've got separate areas where you're doing milestones now. So it wouldn't hurt to have another option here, like wire. So that's the milestone drop right there. This should be pretty nice, and we'll just connect this right next to this one. This is the milestone drop. And then what I think I'll say is that I'm having a lot of fun, and that is probably to my detriment, because I like to have mid-game fun. You figure it out, and then you just kind of want to have that awesomeness last as long as possible. So I could have crunched through this and been done, but there's so much fun to be had in the mid-game. Like this right here, I'm going to take a total departure. We got a Mark 1 belt that's not even fully utilized. Let's upgrade this to Mark 5. That should be a nice upgrade, actually. upgrading all of this will help us get more concrete. I have no idea where it goes beyond that. Is it getting lifted directly into one of the levels by any chance? Not there, it isn't. It's like, well, whatever we're getting, it's flowing. This is the adding in, though. I'm getting a little distracted, but wouldn't hurt to have more concrete. All right, hold on. Where did this concrete or limestone? Part of me wants to just say forget it and get back on task. Some of these things are so slow right now. It's been a while since I've upgraded this. Well, that's working. So then let's head back over to... We'll head back over to our miner. It should be empty now. Oh yeah, look at that. Just so happen to have everything we need to go Mark 3. We have no slugs, no summer sloops, and no shards. But going from no shards Mark 1 to 1 shard Mark 3 is a huge upgrade. 6 times the limestone. I think now might be a good time for us to consider an industrial storage container. I mean, connecting here would... This belt is barely being used. Let's see how these wires are integrating. Oh. These guys are on their own line, basically. Ooh, what's this? They're on their own line basically. So we ought to connect that, and then we could just connect one additional line with overflow. And it's only a Mark IV belt. Looks like it's Mark V from there on out. And then this will connect to here. And then I think I'll pull another one out like this. And then we'll put a little smart splitter on here that will overflow to the left. Any extra, and there should occasionally be a little bit that comes out. I like what I'm seeing now. All that, at least one full belt going in. And I think basically we only have room for one full belt based off of current infrastructure. That's pausing, trying to merge with copper sheets. But that's already a better copper wire supply than we had. Looks like we're about half a belt here. What's this belt doing? Oh, it's a screws. Probably like a screws iron rod. I don't think I have this line set up to be an additional sushi belt for this purpose. So I probably should leave that alone. At this point, I'm basically right here. We're at 1 point, however many this is, belt speed. This side's working great. I could dump off just one more belt worth. Oh, yeah. Well, if there's copper on here... What is this one doing? Or I'm sorry, if there's cable on here, then it could probably also take wire. But then this is the backup one right here. And there's basically most of a belt available to us. Let's put a smart splitter on here. Oh no. You can't grab things. Oh man. We're gonna have to figure that out. I think we gotta put the smart splitter on first. We want this side to be wire. We are really increasing the danger of catastrophic failure with these sushi belts. And then this one is any undefined. So we have stuff in here that we can't get out. I want to put a little safety valve on this. Maybe. I might have to do... Well, you know, we could do programmable. Right output should be rods and sheets. No, screws. And then this center output should be any undefined. Oh God, it's still bad. So now we've got a tiny screw somewhere in here. Oh boy, that's gonna be bad, 'cause I am not gonna have any idea where that is. There's just gonna be a machine somewhere that's gonna be fed one screw. And we won't know which one it is until we figure out which one it is. Let's specifically allow wire. It's not impossible. That we could find it, maybe. In here somewhere. Though chances are good, as soon as it made it into, it instantly got shipped. It's the dangers of sushi belting. So now we should be able to smack some additional cable. Though we gotta check. Because if we put it on this line, there's actually 2 lines that's connected here. Pretty sure we just checked this bottom one. Let's watch this screw. Yep, and then that goes left output wire. But this top one, which is the other side of this, let's make this wire. And we'll make this any undefined. And since wire is defined, wire should never get output there. And now we just need to connect wire to here-ish. I probably should have tested it a little bit more, but we're off and running. All right, that's looking like it's working anyway. And we have these. So we have these full connections and storage. Looks like we're running about 1 belt worth. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit more than 1 belt worth, actually. And that runs into our uploader. So we have the option to get some stuff uploaded. I like the looks of this. 2 full belts. 2 full belts are making their way in, but... Alright, and then some of them are getting downloaded right here. So then at this point, we're only looking at 1 belt, basically. I know that these 2 lifts right here send wire up to the cable section of the factory. So I'd like to see some activity on that. It might not be a full whatever, but I'd love to see some activity on that. This is going out. So I could directly connect after the fact here. Or I could add some more here. Either way, lots of people are getting some so we've got kind of a little injection point there. I could overflow this one, right, into this little injection collection. Just straight say overflow. Maybe I should say this is wire, actually. Just to be on the safe side. And have this one say any undefined. Well, that's definitely changing the flow of the river. This belt looks like it's having issues, but this container is empty, so it's not backing up. I might go ahead and change this to overflow. We're going to let this side, this injection side, have a healthy representation, I think. All right, so that should be some late game wire added to the system. Which now we should see some wire going up over here. See a little bit right there? That amount of wire at least is getting made into cable. None of this is really backing up, unfortunately. Well, there's a little bit of backup here. Not really enough to really do anything with, though, unfortunately. I think I'm going to make this a smart splitter again. And I'm going to say anything that goes on this part gets hoisted into the cable side by default. Let's see how that upload's going now. Yeah, that's about one belt's worth. And then we'll run it back. So yeah, I was having trouble with crashing. Things were crashing left and right on us. And of all the things, I switched from the gamer drivers to the studio drivers. And then I maxed out the settings just to sort of totally test it. And I haven't had a crash in this full almost an hour. Are these full because they were pre-full? We should have... Oh, we should always have our coffee cup on us. And we'll take that, and we'll take that. We'll let everything sort of reload. I'm pretty sure that the math states that this should work. Maybe I'll do a last minute overflow exchange. Worst case scenario. What I do know is that we got a screw loose somewhere in the factory where it shouldn't be. Good news is we've got so many machines that one machine being down isn't gonna kill us, and it should make it a little easier to find it as well because of that. It will be extremely annoying though. Let's let this cable section of the factory get a boost, and then we'll boost the part right next to it. I guess if it can receive a full 2 lines, it can send a full 2 lines. Let me empty out. I'm going to totally empty out the wire factory just so we can tell if it starts empty, it should stay empty if we are producing what we think we're producing. But if it starts empty and then starts to have a backup, then we know we're making more than we think. But what I'm thinking we're making is exactly 2 lines worth, so if it's more than that, I will not be particularly excited. I mean, this one is doing a ever so slight I'm going to put a smart splitter on here. I'm going to have you overflow like so. Looks like this line is going to be the one that's going to overflow. And if it does, then we'll just send it out on this side, which seems to be rocking and rolling. Occasionally it has 1 extra, but it always gets down to 0. This one is slightly increasing, so it's not perfectly balanced. I'm thinking about maybe just splitting this, but this is fine. When this finally reaches full, then it'll do the same thing that this one's doing. It'll overflow this line that way. We'll see. If it totally backs up when we're done with a few other projects, we'll check back in on it. We'll make some adjustments. I feel like there's probably a way to do this with like a couple of more industrial storage containers and some swapping but not sure. Came in a little high. We're gonna drop this off. I mean, this integration went pretty well. Now we're shipping all kinds of stuff up to that one. I want to drop these extra somewhere meaningful. I think I'll just drop them here, though. More backup for our cable. So let's see where this went. The best case scenario, our cable line is the one that got impacted. What I'm looking for is a machine that should be running that isn't running. Oh, we're still just not getting enough wire up here. At least not enough to run this test. We've got 2 full lines. And these 3 are rocking. This one should be full. So then these 2 will get more full, which means more will get passed down to this side. This should be filling up. Nope. How is that possible? How is it barely moving and yet still not filling up? I guess it's saying, well, I'm not getting enough to fill up, so no worries. I'm going to take this chunk of wire up and see where we are. Video's mostly done. I just want to see if I can debug and find where the screws and rods went. And the only way to really find them is to run machines that should be running that aren't running. Oh my. Decent amount of cable. Got 9,000 in storage for our digital uploader. I'm just going to run down this line. I mean, I guess if you've got wire,
I don't know. Have a good day.
then you're not blocked. So like this could be a suspect one. Nope, it got wire. I mean, maybe it just didn't go to this section of the factory. Yeah, so I think the way to do this is to just super load one of these. Let's see. What I set up was potentially 3 belts worth. It would go in here, get uploaded, and then this secondary one would merge in. And once it couldn't merge in anymore, it would pass it down to the next one as quickly as possible. So I think somewhere down here it makes the most sense to add some extra wire just to run the test. If all these machines are green, then the screws are not loose in this part of the factory. It looks like all these machines are green. And now this cable is making tons of high-speed connectors. Or before we were having issues with that. Okay. Well, let's check the other section. I mean, there's only 2 places where wire is widely being distributed. Ooh, look at all those rotors. Oh, we're backing up here. So this one belt, there's a little bit more than 1 belt worth here. I guess what we could do is just overflow it back to the other side. But we'll take this just in case we need it to run our test. Right, so all of our beautiful new wire comes in. It goes over this way. I mean, I would worry about upgrading this, but we're not fully utilizing the belt that we have. Wire being added to stator, or added to make stators. Now, why are you paused? All this good wire everywhere. Look at you. There's a little bit of wire being blocked. Can I get past the stylistic choices that I made here to delete this belt? No. The answer is no. Yep, there it is. 1 screw. Who else? Alright, all these guys are now making plenty of stators. Happy to see it. You know, the only danger is that that screw was blocking, but it was blocking it in such a way. Let me think. Would it be that? No. No, it really couldn't block it in such a way where it would temporarily block it given the length of these belts. I would say that this section is clear. So now, what's up with the other part? That's the stator side. Oh, and this is the other stator side. That's all we're doing with wire over here? Stator and more stator? Kinda looks like it. Okay. I thought there was a rod in there, but it doesn't look like it. It totally looks like all of this is rocking and rolling. Are you dropping off quick wire? You have no quick wire on you, and you didn't drop off any quick wire? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to check the quick wire factory now. This guy's making a drop. Okay, yeah, he did make a drop. I just couldn't see it. And I think we're getting pretty much close to done. I will double check these though, just because I'm kind of concerned that we missed that. I feel pretty sure that there's a single bit of rod lying around incorrectly. But all these machines are running, so I can't argue with success. Little extra cable boost for you. We've got 10,000 cable in production storage. So that's good. Matter of fact, I'm going to manually move this over here, just so we maintain a slight edge on the high-speed connector side. Now we're making a few more radios, not a ton. Tempted to check in on our radio production, see where the complaint is there. Oh, we fit. Wait a minute. This isn't connected. We have a little surplus stator program here that wasn't actually dumping out, but now it is. We've got a ton of AI limiters ready to go. I think we go up one more layer, one more level, and we can check in on our radios, and then we'll call it. We're actually short on quartz crystal of all things. Still short a few high-speed connectors way out here. Are these connected? Oh, they look connected. High-speed connectors, radios. I mean, we've got so many high-speed connector factories going. I guess it's just going to take a long time for it to fully distribute. I'm going to steal from these guys at the start, since they're going to get high-speed connectors back anyway. We might have to do something about the quartz. I'm going to give these high-speed connectors to these guys here at the very end. So that'll make a few radios consistently. I feel like, though, if those guys are really... How many... All right, what do we set up here? Ooh, we put a lot of radio construction in place. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. 32 radio construction machines. 7.5 times 32. 240 high-speed connectors per minute. Oh, and we're only making 3.75 per minute? That's not great. We're never going to keep up at that rate. Well, that's a whole different problem. Is it really? That's a lot of high-speed connectors. For these radios to demand. $7.5 times 32. 7.5 32. I mean, basically we need 2 high-speed connector machines for every 1 radio construction. Not perfectly, but this guy's looking for 7.5, and the base construction of the radio or of the high-speed connector is 3.75. 3.75 times 2 is exactly the right amount. We have exactly half. And yeah, we have half and we need twice as much to be even. I mean, we could do overclocking or we could do something with summer sloops, but I think for now it's good enough to know that there's a slight slowdown in this part of the factory, which is going to impact our radio control unit production. But the real point is we proved that the studio drivers, if I'm having trouble, I'll swap over to the studio drivers. They seem to be a lot more stable. We're running at, I think we're running at medium lumen, but full settings everywhere else. See if we can put our decorations back in. And then we'll just do a little sub signage here. And then at some point in the future we'll come back, and I think an obvious play is to turn this line into something that goes along the edge here. Yeah, it looks like this line is totally full. And it looks like this one is passing along a little less than a full line. I wonder if I cut this. Well, yeah, I won't be able to. Oh boy. Where was the other one? Oh, over here. I won't be able to mix and match that. There's just not enough space. The only other way is inside of here we'd have to do something, but we left ourselves no room to do anything in there. Let's call it right there. Like I said, we'll go run a few other things. Let me reclaim my standard inventory. We'll run a few things and then we'll see what the overload is like. Because this side is pulling in just a little too much. But we'll figure that out in a future episode. Right now, I'm happy to just have all this wire fully integrated into the rest of the factory. I guess the last place I could check would be that integration point. And then we'll definitely call it. We should see though that it's pretty much working. I would guess the overflow on the last bit of the wire is working exactly how we would hope and expect. Yep. Full belt, no issues. occasionally a little bit of overflow. Why is this gaining? This one's slightly gaining as well. I guess we'll have to figure that out later as well. I'm surprised there's just like less than a full belt worth of quote unquote extra. I'm just going to manually move this up here. Maybe give our cable factory a bit of boost. And call it right there. Thanks for hanging out. I know it was more of a debug session, but we're also testing the studio drivers for the NVIDIA, and they seem to be working. Uh-oh. We're pushing our power limit again. You know, it has been a while since I've checked in on our power. Let me check in on the turbo fuel generator. And then we'll most definitely call it. 1 second. I'll put a cut until we get a little closer. Okay. There's our very beautiful, very productive rocket fuel generator. Let's see how we're doing over here. It's been a long time since we've checked in. Got a couple of empties. Full on fuel. Power's looking good. Not exactly a ton of fuel in storage, but it looks like these generators have plenty of fuel to deal with. Each of these have their own local storage that's got something in it, and their internal storage is totally full. So I'm going to call that working. Let's see, do we have... Yeah, so there could be a ton more storage in here. Now, I am a little concerned that there isn't a ton more storage. How are we on the packing, unpacking? Why do I have empties on me? I don't need empties on me. I'm guessing that when the drone returns, it won't be full. Let's see. Rocket fuel generator. Fuel import. It's actually on its way. We'll see what's going on with this guy. Even if it's bringing back 0, we'll definitely going to call it. We're not going to keep playing on this one. We've accomplished our mission, which was the integration of that wire into the mega factory. But I'm curious, because we are looking at a potential power issue. I could build another circle going that way. That would be the easiest play. Uh-oh. He only has 584. So that's a whole different problem. That's probably still enough to run this thing, but it's not enough to get totally and completely comfortable with our rocket fuel amount. There's probably some tweaking that we need to do on the rocket fuel side of things. But we'll deal with that in a future episode. We're going to get back on the assembly director now that we have all that beautiful wire in place. A lot of the substrata for that should be a lot easier now. Supercomputers. Yeah, we could just use radios and cooling systems for those. We don't have a ton of radios. We just experienced that, but all in all, I think that's still the way to go. And then the adaptive control units. We've got plenty of circuit boards. We can make computers relatively easily. Heavy modular frames. Meh. I'm on the fence about that. And stators and cable. We could probably find some stators and some cable to make these automated wiring. So I'm feeling pretty good about going ahead and starting this process. So we'll start the assembly director system in the next episode. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.